about the source of problems. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin wa ala ali baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. One of the unfair questions nowadays that you keep hearing on certain resources of media, that Islam is the source of the problems on earth. Islam is creating a violent, as they say, Islam is creating a violent movement. And you can see that whenever there is Islam, there is violence. There is a dysfunctional family, dysfunctional society, dysfunctional science or scientific institutions, I want to say. Ignoring science, ignoring rational thinking. It does not make its community up to the challenges, and so forth. But is that really true? You know what's so sad? That some people, because they are desperate, and they are Muslims sometimes, but because they are desperate, because they are limited, they might accept that. They might say, oh, maybe our religion put us behind. People, they send shuttles to the moon, as they say. They developed so many complicated high-tech things, but yet we are still arguing about this and that. We're still talking about old historical events, and we might have wars because of it. To be honest, such kind of argument, you cannot explain it, answer it within a few minutes. It's a big, complicated situation. Because first of all, what the Muslims are suffering is not because of their religion. Approve. Islam, brothers and sisters, Islam is the religion that was able to evolve its followers from their limited technology, camel, tent, sword, desert, to the highest one. When we start witnessing Islamic civilization that was powerful in math, physics, optical physics, was powerful in astronomy, was powerful in biology. The Muslims, if you do not read history, the Muslims, because of them, we have something called chemistry, al-kimya in Arabic, the chemistry that you study. The Muslims were the pioneer in bringing something called objective scientific labs and do their tests. And from their experiments, you start having and using their words, alcohol and other words. When it comes to optics, you can read about Ibn al-Haytham, you can read about others, and you will be shocked because of their inventions and research, scientific researches. When it comes to astronomy, you can read about al-Biruni and others. When it comes to biology, you can talk about al-Razi, Ibn al-Nafis, how they used to document surgeries and. When it comes to math, you can talk to al-Khwarizmi. Those are Muslims. Those scientists were Muslims. I'm not saying they were Arabic, they were Muslims. And this is another signs another sign of how Islam coexists with others. To make a non-Arabic person contribute to the Islamic civilization is a powerful tool. Nowadays we call it melting pot. Oh, melting pot. USA is a melting pot. Everyone comes in and he shares his abilities, efforts to build a better life. Islam was way more powerful than that. Because the people, they believed in the system, they believed in the doctrine, they believed in the book that the civilization was based on, which is Al-Quran, and yet they contributed to the society and to the humanity. Al-Khwarizmi, nowadays we call it algorithm. It's because of that gentleman. Algebra, if you are studying algebra in high school, that's because of Arabic terminologies. Because it was dedicated by Arabic people. And so forth. I don't want to now talk about all this good stuff, because we'll never end. But those are just signs. Yes, it is a shame that you do not hear about Ibn al-Haytham, Ibn Sina, al-Razi, al-Khwarizmi, all these people in certain countries. They might talk about dinosaurs. They might make your kids study the names of dinosaurs and how they look like and what they used to eat. But they will never give them a chance to know the real heritage of this civilization and how come it was developed. Isn't because of this bridge that the Muslims were capable to build between the old civilizations and this new civilization through their existence in Europe, like Spain? Do you talk about it? Do you tell them that certain books for Ibn Sina was taught in Spain and Europe for 100 years? Do you mention this? Do you tell them about Ibn al-Haytham when it comes to optics? Do you tell them about al-Bayruni and others? Do you tell them all that? No. Therefore, even our people nowadays, they don't study it because they love certain books or resources. So they are ignorant about what happened. How come we came to this point? If you are so proud about your scientific revolution and so proud that you established something called scientific evidence or scientific approach through your experimental approach, this has been way known in Islamic doctrine. Even in Aqidah, you have to use certain ways of knowledge. You have to be objective. It pushes you to be more knowledgeable, to seek the cause and the reason, to understand there is for every action there is a reaction, and for every action there is a reason why it happened. This is long time ago. What you are talking about, we have been studying. It has been in our heritage. It has been in our civilization hundreds of years ago. So when you tell me Islam is a problem, that's why I'm behind, no, it's not because of Islam, it's because of you. Because of you, not because of Islam. And because of what the enemy plotting against you. Because they know Islam is a power. Islam proved it is a power through so many centuries. Even those who ruled the Muslims were not that good or were very bad, yet Islam was capable to change, was capable to improve others' life, was capable to help others, to create so many new dimensions in knowledge and science, even with those bad rulers. Imagine now if you have a good ruler, good understanding of Islam, and you have the good resources, you're a power. When I go to Hajj, 2 million people, 3 million people in Hajj, and as a Muslim, I meet a doctor from China, I meet a psychologist from Japan, I meet a high-tech guy from I do not know, I need people from so many nationalities, so many fields, so many majors, so many scientific backgrounds, so many knowledgeable or wealth people. In Hajj, they are all united. They are all dressing the same way, worshipping the same God, believing in the same message. They have the same destination, and they believe that Islam is the solution. Definitely that's a problem for others. Imagine people are paying so much money to enter a conference called Al-Hajj, and they know they might get sick or hurt, yet they are willing to save money and pay for that trip, and they are happy even if they are hurt. This is a power. And that's why people, some other countries, they don't like it. It's a power. When I see a billionaire guy dressing the same way in Hajj that I am dressing, and he's sitting close to me, and he's making tawaf as I'm making tawaf, and he is doing the rituals that Abraham, peace be upon him, one time did. This is a powerful sign. You are creating here a unity. You are getting rid of the classifications. You tell me now Islam is a problem? If Islam is a problem, how come Islam was able to be the magnet at least once every year in Hajj for so many nationalities and ethnicities? In Hajj, you will be among the black person, white person, Asian. You are going to be among the poor, the rich. You are going to be among the tall and short. You are going to be among the elderly and young. You are going to be among the women and men. This is a full sign of a very functioning society where every item and every classification in the society is melting in one unit. We call it Al-Hajj. Is that a problem? Or it's a problem for others? Yet, another problem they might say, violence. That's the slogan nowadays. Violence. What do you mean by violence? Oh, you guys, you keep talking about Ashura. And you show this bloody image of what happened to Imam Hussein, and his head was decapitated, and. So you keep the people living in a violent image to revenge. Well, you are talking to the wrong people. We are not saying in order to go to heaven you have to believe in the crucifixion of Jesus. And we are not every Sunday giving people some bread and wine, telling them this wine is the blood of Jesus. We are not those people. Maybe you are mistaken. All what we are saying, guys, when you remember Ashura and we show you this barbaric image to what happened to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, to tell you if you do not be just in the society, and if you do not defend the real image of Islam, and if you do not take care of your principles and believe in it and be submitted to it, then people will come and chew you and be barbaric as what they did with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Ashura is a message to be peaceful and to be strong. Because once you are weak, people will come after you. We are not saying that if you do not believe in this, then you are not Muslim. In Ashura, we don't say this. We are saying this school is to teach you to be a man of the principle. Even those people, they might kill you, yet you have to believe in your principles. This is the message of Ashura. وَاللَّهِ لَا أُعْطِيكُمْ بِيَدِي إِعْطَاءَ الذَّلِيلِ. I will never be submissive to you, even if you are going to kill me. This is a sign of dignity. This is a sign of principle. This is a sign of very integrated human being. It's not a message of blood. It's not a message of, no, it's not. I'm showing you that helping or being indifferent with the enemy might have bad consequences on the good people. That's Ashura. If this is you consider creating a problem and violence in the society, you are mistaken. You are very mistaken. As a matter of fact, it's showing people how to stick to their principles and do not get desperate and hopeless because they might fail. Islam is telling you, even if you want to fail, be a man of principle. Be a person of principle. That's what it's about sacrifice, not about violence. Unless to you sacrifice is a violence, then that's a different story. Then the whole thing that you believe in is about violence. Then God is the first violent, based on your logic, if you want to call it logic, is the first violent being on earth, because He did not clean up our sins unless His Son has to be crucified. This is very, very brutal image. To us, we don't say this. To us, we do not say the crucifixion of Jesus, peace be upon Him, this very well-respected prophet in Islam. His crucifixion is the salvation of the humanity. If you are sinner, if you are sinful, and you are by default, according to certain churches, Jesus' blood will save you. No, we don't say this. We say God is merciful, and God, He's merciful with His prophets more than any other person. And there is no need to say because of the crucifixion or bloody image or violent image or brutal image, I will be forgiven. We are forgiven from the beginning. Allah did not create us sinful. Then He is not just. Then He is not God. Who's now creating problem into society? I am spreading violent images or others? I am, as a Muslim, saying Muhammad said, كتب على نفسه الرحمة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I am the most merciful. Just say, God, forgive me, I will forgive you. There is no need for all those complicated situations. That's why nobody talk about it this way. Yet Islam said, I respect other religions. I respect what you believe in, but I do not agree with it. To me, it's illogical, but I respect it. As a Christian, I'm fine with what you believe. But do you have the same feeling toward me? Inna Allah Rafiq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind, and He gives more deeds upon kindness than any other behave. As a Muslim, you are kind, you are just, but that does not mean you are weak. Then they bring to us this political stuff. Brothers and sisters, there is a big difference between Islam and Muslims. And there is a big difference between certain Muslims and others. If I am American and I have American citizenship, and for whatever reason I did something bad, does it mean that my constitution is bad? Does it mean that I represent the whole nation? Does it mean I represent the Western society? Does it mean my citizenship is wrong? No. I'm a citizenship. The citizenship might make you a good citizen or bad citizen. In USA, in the West, I have good French guy and bad French guy. Even he has a citizenship. In USA, he's American. He might be good citizen or bad citizen. In Islam, we have a Muslim. He could be bad Muslim or a good Muslim. And that's why we categorize people in Islam. We have Islam, we have a Muslim, we have a believer. He is a good Muslim or a bad Muslim. He is a good believer or a bad believer. And that's why a believer is also classifications. He is a good believer, he is a pious. That means he has very powerful faith. And he fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We call him darajat al-muttaqeen. he is honest. Yes, you might have a believer, he is a liar. It could happen. But is that because of Islam? Is Islam is pushing this Muslim to be bad? No. Is this citizenship pushing me to be a bad citizen? No, it is my behavior. I'm wrong, I'm bad. And he, in this situation, he might say, I am good. Yes, does the constitution of Islam raise good generation? Definitely it does. So when you tell me there is violence, look at the violence. Who is feeding the violence? Those people now in the Middle East killing others, what are those? Those in general, they are Wahhabi school. Just a new school was supported by the British and Western people. Everybody knows about this. When Saudi Arabia anyway was established, they made a deal that when it comes to Islamic legislation has to go through Wahhabi school, and the kings has to be from Saud family. This their problem. It's not my problem. It's not Islam. They do not represent the majority of Muslims. They are minority. Yes, the problem, who is supporting them? Who is giving them the money? Who is giving them the weapon? Who is making them grow? Not the Muslims. Not Islam. Islam has a very obvious slogan. لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. Allah will never and does not tell you or order you, Islam does not order you to be not good with those who did not fight you or did not kick you out of your houses. No, be good with them. Be kind with them. Why? Because Allah loves those who are just. This is a very clear image in Islam. So you tell me that Islam is a problem? No, it's not. Some fatwa is a problem? Yes. Because some fatwa are coming from ignorant people. And among Muslims, the Muslims, they are aware of them. They know this is ignorant and this is intellectual person. So the problem is not in that. When I see people in Iraq are killed by innocent people in Iraq are killed because of innocent people are killed in Iraq by American weapon, let's say. Is that because the Constitution allows such kind of crimes? Is that an American heritage? No, I say it is a wrong decision by the administration. I claim that the administration was wrong, not the Constitution, not the values. The Muslims' values disagree with any violent movement. Then overall, let's see, we're talking about the problems. I'll give you an example. Let's see who has more problems in the society. Forget about politics, forget about violence now in general and details as we were discussing it. Let's come to the ground. Let's do certain statistics. Well, if I isolate ISIS and ISIL or Daesh, Wahhabi, Western-driven groups, terrorist group, let's take this away. Let's look at Muslims without this bloody image that they wanted to be in the area for political and economical reasons. It's not the time for it. Because it is very hard on certain groups in the West to see this place united. It's very hard. Because then it's a power. It's like, now all of a sudden we have a problem with Ukraine and Russia. Oh, really? No, we have Muslims over there? That's another problem. In Africa, so many problems, and it has to do with the tribes. Because of oil, British government with this tribe, a French government with the other tribe, and they keep fighting. So anyway, I don't want to enter to this dirty politics, and everybody knows about it. And if you believe the media, better change your channel. Anyway, let's look at the ground. In Detroit, if you go Detroit, Michigan, just read about the statistics in 2011, 2012. How many murders happened in Detroit? About more than 400 murder cases. More than 400 murder cases in Detroit by itself. Detroit. I bring a city like Beirut, which is full of problems, as you know, since we are in Beirut now. The city is very much smaller than Detroit, so it is more crowded. It has more than 1 million. 1 million, the population is about 1 million, let's say. Okay. How many murder cases happened in Beirut last year? You don't even mention it. Just compare years. How many divorce cases happen in USA or certain cities in USA, and how many cities happen? Why I pick Detroit? Not because I'm here to discriminate, because I'm showing you that there are certain places they might be behind not because of religion. Our problems in Middle East is not because of religion. Religion is the call for improvement. The call to it is the momentum for better society. Islam is telling you, إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pushing you to change. Even with the prophets, there is not magical change. Maryam alayhi salam was delivering Jesus, peace be upon him. He said, وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ, go do some effort so you can get some dates to eat. There is nothing on silver plate for you. You have to work. Islam was a call for the proper momentum in the society to get integrated, to get involved, to work harder, to improve itself. Some narrations from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Man bata kallan min talab al-halal bata maghfuran lahu." If you come home and you have been working the whole day and you slept because you are tired of trying to earn halal money, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all your bad deeds. You tell me now Islam is a problem? It's pushing you to work. It's pushing you to consider the rights of your neighbors, the rights of your wife, the rights of your family, to consider the rights of your enemy even the rights of your enemy. Even during the war, you are not allowed to destroy a tree. You are not allowed to kill a woman. You are not allowed to kill an elderly person. You are not allowed to kill an infant or a kid. You are not allowed to poison a water to get rid of people. You are not allowed to use a nuclear weapon, though some countries did. This is Islam. You tell me Islam now is a problem? And when it comes to other stuff, it's pushing you to work, pushing you to get educated. Get educated, even if you want to go to China. Some narrations mention. طلب العلم فريضة. To seek knowledge is something obligatory. Something obligatory. When it comes to the society, as I said, let's take a look at the family level. Who has more drugs? Who has more dysfunctional families? Who has more divorce cases? Who has more murder cases? Islam, Islamic countries, or others? Oh, he might be 60 years old. You tell him, how come you are not married? Oh, I'm still thinking about it. Who is creating complexity in the society? Whether to get married or to get divorced? Not Islam. Look at violence. When it comes to, if as I said, remove those political problems, that is, most of them are imposed upon us. Who is making them? Let's take this organic understanding into consideration, brothers and sisters. Islam even respected the environment. The environment itself, Islam respected. The animal, there is a value for animal. They say a woman saw a thirsty dog. She tried to get it some water. She could not. She used her shoes, went inside the well, get water and get out, and quench the thirst of that animal. What the Prophet said, going to heaven. Because as a Muslim, you have to be merciful. That's with the animal. If you want to travel riding your horse, make sure to pick places where the animal can rest, eat, and drink. With the environment, you are not allowed to pollute the water. You are not allowed to waste any natural resources. While in the West, who cares? As long as I'm paying, I'm making money, I don't care about any natural resources. Yes, they might have some certain slogans. Oh, you know, nature friendly, saving energy, blah, blah. But in reality, it's a waste. Look how many cell phones we waste every year because another new cell phone came in. Look how much we waste batteries. Look how much we waste food. Look how much we waste water under the name, oh, I'm paying, it's my property. But Islam is saying, no, you have to respect nature. Even if you own it, even if you have the authority to control it, that does not mean you waste. You have the right to waste. That's Islam. While we look in certain places, because I want to build a factory, I destroy nature, I destroy trees, I destroy river life, I destroy animals' life. I create pollution. Why? I want to generate more cars. Really? Is that the proper way you live? Is that the way you contribute to humanity? Then you give some money to the cities so they can be quiet. Done deal. That's not accepted. You have to have a sense of respect to others. Overall, now, where is Islam is the problem? How? And how can Islam be the problem and Islam is about 1/4 of humanity? How could that be? If the Muslims were really violent, there will exist no place on earth. Look at the life of Muslims in the West. I'm talking about the good Muslims. Look what kind of careers they are earning. Look at their publications. Look at their contribution to others' civilization. Look how they respect other neighbors. Look how they take care of themselves and others. Look at their inventions, patents. If Muslims were that savage, as you are saying, were the problem, as you are saying, were the obstacle in this civilization, then so many things has to be questions other than Islam and before Islam. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.